The honeymoon is soon getting done, and Ruben Amorim will soon start getting down to business with Manchester United's team when they do return from the international break that will end on the 19th of this month. But in this video, I want to focus on the first month of the new Manchester United boss, who has quite an interesting schedule because certain teams look easy on paper, but there could be some interesting history and facts around the games that are going to welcome him to the Red Devils. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Web. Like, share, subscribe, and of course, drop down a comment as we do get into this interesting Ruben Amorim conversation. Now, of course, the first game we know by now is on the 24th of this month of November against Ipswich Town. Now, a team coached by a former first team coach, certainly, of Manchester United, that is in Kieran McKenna. Certainly, it's going to be a tough one. It cannot be a bed of roses for Ruben Amorim, and he should know that because you're talking of a manager who knows the players. This is a guy who worked with most of these Man United players when he was first team coach at Manchester United. So he certainly knows their capabilities, he knows their weaknesses, he knows exactly how to deal with them, and he's going to be playing home. Now, on paper, Ipswich is placed 17th on the pie, and that could be a confusion. But because you're thinking the team placed 17th, Man United is 13th on the log, it should be an easy game. No, I think on paper it comes off as one that should be an easy game. But look, Ipswich won their last game against Tottenham before the international break. That alone, for me, makes them a motivated side and a hard paper. And coupled with the fact that I've told you that McKenna knows the Man United players, he certainly will make it extremely difficult for Ruben Amorim at home. And remember, on that game, of course, the whole world will be watching Amorim, certainly, never mind it being an away game. And he has promised that on that first game, we should be able to see an idea of the kind of football he wants to play. Now, what success will look like? You see, the thing is, if you're a manager and you start a new manager at a club and you start with such a small team, the expectation by many a fan is you're supposed to win it. If you don't, they may not really listen to excuses of it being a first game and stuff. It will take out some certain fans will drop off in a way, but the only thing that will save Amorim from, of course, the wrath of the same fans that are praising him during his honeymoon now is if the players put on a fight, and regardless the result, at least what is certain is that there has been a fight. But these are two managers who have both been interns of Jose Mourinho, because McKenna was at Man United from 2016, and at that time, between that period from 2016 to just when he left recently of course, he was with the under 18 at Manchester United from 2016 to 2018. Then, of course, later joined the first team as a coach. So certainly you can say he has been an intern of Jose Mourinho for some time. Even Amorim was an intern of Jose Mourinho. In fact, Mourinho is considered to be his mentor. So it's going to be an interesting game. And being that it's away from home, it certainly has got to be a big test for Ruben Amorim. What do I expect from that? Regardless it being early days, I think Man United to get a result from that. May not be a win per se, but I think Man United will get a result in that game. I've got that utmost confidence that the result will come. The other game after that Amorim has got in this same month will be in the UEFA Europa League, and this is one interesting one against Bodo Glimt. It's an interesting one because first of all, it's going to be his first home game. Now, this is not coming in the English Premier League, but it's the first home game for him. Definitely, that's an important game. It's certainly a high-pressure game because imagine Old Trafford will be packed to the rafters. Songs, I think United fans have already, crafted a song, an Amorim song or something. They should be chanting his name. Obviously, the expectation should be a whitewash. This team should be whitewashed by Man United. That's pressure, again, on Ruben Amorim. He will feel what it means to be a Man United manager, but also he will feel what it means to have a buzzing crowd at Old Trafford, because they will be buzzing until the time when it goes wrong for his team. I think fans will be chanting all throughout from the start of the game. So, but the fact that it's the first home game, there is some bit of pressure that comes with it. That's inevitable. So you think it's an important one. So, whereas on paper there is nothing really to talk much or to write home about Bodo Limit. I think the reality is being a home game, you don't know the pressure and how it will be dealt with. But also for the players, it's going to be the first home game since the arrival of these new managers. For the players, they don't know what to expect from the home crowd, so it's going to be an interesting one. Then, of course, after that, that will be on the 28th of November. Then after that, on the 1st of December, Man United takes on Everton. This is now the first major home game that's in the Premier League. We are taking on an Everton side that you could easily say is a you could comfortably say it's a wounded lion, I should say, and it has been so for a long time because of how much they have struggled, I think, to try and stay afloat, amid financial issues. So they are just three places behind Man United. We don't want to. There is no reason why we should be losing to such a team. But like I said, it being a wounded lion and the intensity of the game they play with their 4-4-2, you think they can always cause damage. That's why they score goals, and it's easy. Though it's easy for them to concede. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Manchester United will will deal with them, will cope with them. It's going to be another pressure game, certainly, for Amorim. And then after that game, the next game is the big one. On the 4th of December, we take on Arsenal away at the Emirates Stadium. Now, the test of that rivalry, arguably the more exciting rivalry in the league currently, arguably. And I keep telling people, well, whereas historically the grudge between Man United and Liverpool is a bit bigger, I think over time, games against Arsenal have felt like the biggest thing in football. I think it's certainly Amorim will feel a bit of it. And the Man United supporters, I think it's very important for Man United not to lose to Arsenal. He will understand that on that day. He will see the atmosphere and get to understand, never mind it being an away game, it's very important for Man United to give Arsenal a good run for their money. Beat Arsenal. You beat Arsenal even if you struggle in coming games. I think there's a certain hope that you will have earned. And remember, he spoke about it and in his first interview, talking about how him and his team have got to earn the time. They need time, but they have got to earn it. I think a game like Arsenal, Man United, imagine Man United travels to Arsenal and beats them at the Emirates Stadium. He has bought himself a lot of time with just that win. So it's a pressure game because Arsenal are also reorganizing themselves. Remember their captain, Martin Odegaard, perhaps by that time will have, I think, jailed in well now, ever since he returned from injury. Looked good against Chelsea, against Chelsea on his return. He looked good, extremely good for a player who has been off for about 2 or 3 months. His levels were impressive. So you can imagine he will get better. I find him as the most dangerous team in the Arsenal team. Then Ricardo Calafiori, perhaps by that time, should be fit because I think after the international break, he should be returning for training with the team. So their squad will be at a certain good point. Thomas Partey is every day looking better. So you get a sense it's going to be a very solid Arsenal team that will face. So how Amorim assembles and the expectation of the fans, given that he beat the hell out of Pep Guardiola and Man City, the expectation should be that he should be able to do it again against Arsenal, which is another interesting rivalry for Man United. So that's another important date. 4th of December is one you've got to mark, and by that time he would have played up these 3 games, and you get a sense that his players must have mastered the way he wants to play. At their level, most of them should have adjusted to the way he wants to play, and trust me, it should be a proper footballing masterclass between 2 great young managers of the beautiful game. So I think most of us will get the proper idea of how solid this Arsenal team, rather this Man United team, will be against Arsenal on that 4th of December. That's the game that will give us a proper picture or image of how far we can go with Ruben Amorim. And then, of course, after that, quite a few games there. We've got Nottingham Forest at home, another stubborn team. And they're, of course, sneaking into the top 4 as we speak now. We've got Victoria Pleasant away, and then Manchester City. His first test of the Manchester Derby will be on the 15th of December. Now, he beat Pep with Sporting Lisbon, coming from behind. It's a whole different Pepper, thinking is one traveling to the Etihad Stadium and beat them in the first meeting with Man United. But again, the expectation, given that he beat them with Sporting, the fans will be thinking, we can do it again. So I'll tell you, the first couple of weeks or months, the first 1.5 or 2 months for Ruben Amorim are certainly going to be intense. Now, the beauty and advantage is that he has come in, arrived during an international break, which has given him time to first calm down and settle into the whole club and, and meet the staff, a few players, of course, but then the staff of the club, acclimatize a little bit to Manchester and settle in, so that by the time we get down to business, it will not be really a new place, like he's just dropped from another planet. Because if you just come from Sporting Lisbon, straight away you land into Manchester United, and in 2 days you have a game to play. That's really being thrown in the deep end. It's a proper baptism of fire. But I think he has got time to fit in and and calm himself down. Calm the excitement, of course, for a young manager like him to get such a huge job. The excitement to have settled in and blah blah blah. There won't be any nerves. He will certainly he has had enough time to become to feel like an authority in charge of the team. His backroom staff is joining him. I think only one of them is yet to get their visa. So the time is there for him to get everything right and get off to at least a calm start, which for me is always going to be important for any manager. So that's the past weeks and months rather for Ruben Amorim as Man United. Expectation, looking at the games that he has, and of course we may not know yet how the players are going to respond or react to his style, but just looking at the games and trying to predict the psychology of the team, my feeling is we could win at least we could win at least 3 of the first 6 games. At least 3 of those, maybe draw 1 or 2 and lose 1, or lose 2 and draw another. That is that's for me the worst. But again, depending on how it starts against Ipswich and the first home game, especially against Everton, it's very possible that we can go on and actually beat the life out of Arsenal and Man City. So possible. So there is hope. But let's wait for it. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. And let me catch you later, fam.